Dancing for Stuffed Animals, Part 1. Oracion Pasig loved to dance. When she was just 8 years old, her mother enrolled her in ballet lessons at the dance studio near her house. Every day after school, she would do pirouettes in her room along with other moves she learned in dance class that week. When she got older after college life, her long life dream of becoming a ballet dancer for the Roosevelt San Francisco dance troupe was slowly coming true. She was excited at the news that she would be part of the troupe. She told her boyfriend Roger Daniels the news over the phone. That night they would go out to dinner to celebrate. On the way home from dinner, all laughs and happiness at the good news, they drove home at 10:47 p.m. On the road, Roger turns on his music. Oracion is looking at his reflection through the glass automobile window. She's at peace with the world. Their car passes Netco department store where her cousin Agapito Ilustrado worked. He turns to her and says, "Ray Ray, you did it, babe. I didn't know why you doubted. I always," with one hand on the steering wheel, the other hand gently caressing her arms. He puts both hands back on the wheel to go back to driving. Oracion thinks about all the traveling the Roosevelt Company would go. The dancers performed all around the world, from Beijing to Moscow, London, and everywhere in between. She thinks about being a little girl in her room, performing for her stuffed animals. Her parents would walk into her mid-performance, and Oracion didn't care. She would continue dancing away. Roger looks at the road ahead. "I love you, Ray Ray. You know that. The moment I first saw you dancing on stage in the college auditorium 4 years ago when we were freshmen." Roger is trying to remember the name of the fundraiser. Oracion rolls down the window. The crisp, cold air hits her face. "I know," she says. Roger grins. "Hey, can you open up that glove compartment and let the glove compartment get the white envelope?" Oracion gets the thin white envelope out and just looks at it. "What is it?" "Open it," Roger says. "What is it?" she says again. Roger persuades her to open the envelope. As she proceeds to use her keychain mini pocket knife to open the envelope, she 90% knows what the circular object is. She is horrified that Roger is proposing to her. Not now. Not when her career is about to take off. Can you wait until like 3 years down the road when things get a little bit more established and her foundation is more rock solid? She is silent. Oracion Julia Pasig, what do you say? Will you marry? Or Roger doesn't get a chance to finish. A set of semi-truck high beams and the screech of a truck horn blasts out towards a young couple in love, and then total blackness. Oracion never even got the chance to hear Roger's full proposal. Darkness. She opens her eyes slowly and sees the ceiling tiles. Everything is sore. Her head hurts. She wants 10 billion ibuprofen to stop the pain. A nurse approaches her bed. Oracion Pasig calls out to Roger. The nurse looks at her with sympathy and runs to get the doctor. She slowly reaches for the hospital bed cover and painfully removes the blanket. In horror, she sees that her left leg is gone. It had been amputated below the knee. The doctor tries to explain that she and her fiancé had been in a terrible driving accident. The semi-truck operator had been sleep deprived and fell asleep at the wheel. Ran headlong into her and Roger. Oracion is screaming in agony. She calls out to Roger, but the nurse and the doctor are trying to calm her down. Roger didn't make it. He died instantly. Oracion is quiet now. She feels guilty for not answering his proposal. She was selfish in that last instance of his life, thinking only of herself and career as a ballerina. Now that future is gone, alongside the only love of her life. The doctor and nurse leave her room after she becomes quiet, the stun and shock of it all. In the next few hours, her family and friends trickle in to visit, but Oracion is silent. She thinks only of the what-ifs in her mind. Even as her mother talks to her, her thoughts are elsewhere. Things become bitter inside. The days become weeks. Even in hospital visits from loved ones, Oracion still faces those lonely days and angry nights. She looks down occasionally at her stump. She cries and cries. In the 15 years since that tragic accident, Oracion Pasig became a bitter woman. She gave up on her dream of becoming a professional dancer and became an angry 5th grade teacher in a local elementary school instead. She had to survive, but it was grueling being her student. All the pain she felt that night, losing her boyfriend Roger, her leg, and her love of dancing went away in one moment. There have been major improvements in prosthetic legs since her first fitting, but she still limped wherever she went. Going to work as a teacher was a chore. She hated the 4 walls. It was her prison cell with nagging kids that smelled weird and made too much noise. She even felt those phantom pains folks swear are real. Every thought and feeling in her heart and mind wanted to just crawl into a hole and die with Roger. But she had to pay bills, rent, cover costs of the medical bills all these years later. All her students called her Limping Lucy behind her back. Children can be the cruelest of all creatures when they know they will get away with it. Her cousin Agapito tried to encourage her with weekly visits, but she drowned every free moment away from the classroom in Jack Daniel's whiskey and soda. She never was one for beer. How could this happen to her? Oracion would repeat over and over in her mind. She had everything going for her, in an instant all taken away. One day, a young student with a note goes to the classroom door. The smiling little girl looks at her new teacher and tells her good morning and that Jesus loves you. Oracion looks at the little girl and thinks that this little kid looks just like her when she was a little girl. That same little girl who loved to dance and be full of joy. Her new student, Isabella Fidelis, takes her seat at the first open desk and listens intently to her teacher. Being in the 5th grade is a grand experience for Isabella Fidelis. The teacher tells the young students to open their books to page 158. Oracion Pasig is a miserable human being at this moment in her life. What she doesn't realize is that Isabella is going to lead her to Jesus Christ by the end of the school year. The student is happy and all smiles, being in a new school, making new friends. End of part 1. To be continued.